are the explorer. Give me a hand. Don't be afraid. You dream to be in a forest.
I wish to find a lost city.
What you seek is far greater than you ever imagined. Your soul will never be quiet until you find this place. It is your destiny.
So one of the first things I realized watching this film is that I was potentially pronouncing the title wrong the entire time.
You weren't. You weren't. Yes, it's Zed, but that's fine. We'll give it to you.
There is a point where the vision that your character shares with his wife, who's played by Sienna Miller, and Tom Holland, who's his son, do you need to get on the same page with them?
I think that when you're working with a director the caliber of James and the actors, the caliber of those guys, you just understand that that they're going to be as invested as you are, and they're going to bring their own set of truths and interpretation of who those characters are to the table. And then it's really just fun because it's about being open and really just listening and really seeing what they are and who they are and naturally interacting with them in whatever space they are. I mean, actually the most extreme version of this in this film was the relationship I had with Robert, because we didn't talk at all outside of communicating between action and cut as the characters, and so there was no conversation about who Costin was, the character that Robert plays, or how he was feeling. I just had to intuit it and react to it and you know, and feel whatever emotion that he was bringing to any given scene. It was interesting because there'd be moments where I was thinking, this is a very profound thing that these characters are experiencing in this moment of the story. I wonder how Costin feels about it, and normally you would go and talk to an actor about it, but instead I just had to wait for action to be called and see what he was going to bring to the table. So it was really, although we didn't talk at all, it was a wonderful collaboration.
Charlie and I definitely talked a lot about this relationship. I think there was so much love and so much respect, and in a way they were Buddhist, which I think is significant because the kind of core of that religion is no attachments. And if you really get to an enlightened state of that, not that either of them I'm sure did because they're mortals, but you know, her ability to detach and to let him go and to let him follow his dreams was incredibly Zen Buddhist-y. I also think it was her dream as well. So as he was off, she was as compelled by this search as he was, even though she wasn't there. So they were very much in sync.
Because this required so much of me, I decided to sort of implement everything I'd learned in terms of some of the trickery that you can apply to the process to facilitate achieving those results without having to reach necessarily as far as you might have to. So for instance, like loneliness and sacrifice, two of the big both emotional areas that that we wanted to examine in this film with Fawcett. And so I just tried to create an environment where I felt a sense of sacrifice in this process and a sense of loneliness. So I cut myself off completely from the world. I didn't speak to anyone for 4 months, you know, not even my girlfriend. I didn't make a single phone call. I didn't send an email. And that just was, you know, and that was very helpful.
I was interested in him as a character. A very short part of the book, which was all about his father being kind of a mess and soiling the family name, and that he would have to prove himself. That's something I was very interested in, and it really excited me. And I kind of tried to push the logistical disasters out of my mind. But I gave the script to a friend of mine, I forget who's a wonderful director. I gave him the script. I said, can you read this and tell me what you think? He said, the script, I like it, but why would you want to do that movie? Why would you want to make that? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, look what you have to do. And I thought, oh yeah, he's right. I got to do all that.
Just think of how relentless the jungle is, you know? It's like the ocean. We found out when we shot Heart of the Sea. There's no break. You don't relax, you know? Every second you have to be on watch for something or be wary of something. And for me, the idea of being in the jungle for months and months and years on end is unbelievable. And I can't believe that these men did it and survived. And I'm just glad we were able to go back to our hotel rooms every night.
Did you feel like you were sort of flexing a Werner Herzog muscle?
I have such unbelievable admiration for Werner Herzog, who has been to Amazonia, I believe, 3 times for Aguirre, Fitzcarraldo, and Cobra Verde. I do not understand how he did it. To me, that is as impressive as it gets. So was I flexing that muscle? No, I was more like trying to beg his spirit for inspiration.
I love the jungle, you know. I thought it was incredible. As much as it was difficult and there was bugs and it was hot and stuff, I thought it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, you know. Everywhere you look is something you've never seen before. There's animals everywhere. And I really did have the time of my life there.
My wife brought it up to me midway through production. She said, you know, this is just basically your story. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, you have these obsessions and you leave the family for I don't know how long at a clip, and then what cost does that have? And I was like, oh, really? She said, no, you're much nicer than Percy. I said, oh, thank you. But she and the kids came with me to the jungle because I wanted to make sure that I didn't make, frankly, the mistake that I think Fawcett made.
You don't care about us. You don't even care about going home. You only care about your lost city.
This search for Zed, I can no longer bear the cost.
You've come to doubt its existence.
No. I only doubt that Zed could provide all the answers you seek from it.